supporter, thou endure protection.
Spotless one, who it expressively and the lasting.
In 1973, the Supreme Court made abortion legal in the United States with its landmark Roe v. Wade decision. A year later, in 1974, pro-life advocates developed the March for Life to commemorate the court's decision and to provide a voice for the voiceless. Usually there'd be hundreds of thousands of people here at the Supreme Court, but this year the faithful have gathered, probably 50 to 75 demonstrators. Ma'am, what is your name? What are you doing here today, and what do you hope to accomplish?
Sure. My name's Anne Marie DiCarlo, and I'm from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and I came down with a group of my fellow Lancastrians. We felt very strongly that the March for Life should not have been canceled this year. For 48 years we've come and we've witnessed every single year, and we always promised that we would do that until abortion went away. And this year, of all years, with the Biden administration coming in and with the rejection of all pro-life protections and some of the safeguards that were put in place previously, we felt that this is not the year to be silent. So we really wanted to come and just let people know that as long as the abortion exists in our country, there will be those of us that will stand up to say it's wrong, and we'll say it every time.
I'm here to gather together, honestly, to connect with others who are like-minded, but we are here for justice, most importantly. Standing here at the back of the Supreme Court, justice is the guardian of liberty, and when we think about one of our gravest injustices as a country, it's the 60 million people and children who haven't had a chance to live their life. They're image bearers of God, and as we stand for justice and other issues, like we should, this should be one of the ones that we stand together for. So here to support, here to gather together, here to hold hands really with others who are doing this work, and really to pray, solemnly remember and figure out ways that we can bring a culture of life to the country as a whole. But again, it goes back to understanding that we are all created in the image of God. And no matter what corner of the world you're from, no matter what your background is, we all have inherent dignity and have inherent value. And that starts at the moment of conception, and it continues to natural death. Science is very clear. Science is clear about when the heart starts. Science is clear about the fact that children in utero can feel pain. Science is clear that everything is there to create the person that we see standing here between you and I.
This is the 48th annual March for Life. It's a historic march. Hopefully we'll never have to have a small march like this again, but I think it marks kind of the somber reality of what we've been through this year, both with COVID and recent violence. We're all, praying and fasting for an end to that, and that our culture of life would be restored, both in the womb and just globally in our culture and how we treat each other.
You're aware of President Biden in the last day, the Mexico City policy. What is your reaction to that, his changes?
Well, first of all, as a Catholic, it's so disheartening because the dignity of the human person, especially the unborn, is at the heart of what it means to be Catholic and Christian. So from that perspective, it's so disheartening. But listen, just with mainstream America, it's out of touch. So 77% of Americans, including many pro-choice Americans, don't want their taxpayer funding going for abortions overseas. So the Biden-Harris administration is promising unity, and yet they're making these extreme decisions that are out of touch with mainstream America.
We're here with Bishop Coffey, who is attending the 48th Annual March for Life. Some, though, are feeling discouraged with the new administration in place that they see as not as supportive of pro-life causes. What would you say to Catholics, to just people out there that are pro-life supporters who may be feeling discouraged?
I would say that we've been in this movement now for many, many years. Different administrations. We've had setbacks. We've had things go our way. We've had some momentum the last couple of years, no doubt about that. So we can never get discouraged. We can never grow weary. We're in this fight till Roe v. Wade is overturned. We are hoping and praying for a paramount human life amendment. And I've been following Father Frank Pavone for many years, Priest for Life, and he has a great quote. He says, "We want abortion to not only be illegal, but unthinkable, just as slavery would be for young people today." So that's why we keep fighting, and we don't have the luxury of giving up because the stakes are too high, and so we can never grow weary, never give up, never despair. And in the great words of St. John Paul II, to be not afraid. So we have to have courage.
So we talked a little bit today about how there are a lot of young people involved in the pro-life movement. We're joined by some of them here today. What is your name and why are you here supporting the March for Life?
My name is Autumn Lindsay. I'm the student spokesperson for Students for Life of America, and we're here today because we are the pro-life generation. You know, despite the march being canceled, despite the very cold weather, we're here to do whatever we can. Students for Life hosted something called Stand for Life, and so all weekend we've been doing pro-life activism. We had one of the largest life chains in Arlington, Virginia this morning, and it was phenomenal just to be united with fellow pro-lifers. And I think it just shows how nitty-gritty and determined the pro-life generation is, because we will find a way to be here and to speak up for the most important cause in our generation. I live in Washington State, so I traveled quite a bit to be here, but it's worth it because this cause is so important.
We all know that this battle against abortion will be won, but it's God's battle to win. We're just here to witness to that. I guess we're placing our trust in the Almighty. Christ is King. He will make it happen. It's not for us to determine the method and the time, but we're faithful, and that's why we're here today, and that's why we pray.
Intercession, speed up to make supplication. Now let us ever protect.